All right, welcome to the Meet Houston Missions and the Simmons and Fletcher Local Missions Podcast. This is Paul Cannon, Managing Partner of Simmons and Fletcher, and your host. I am excited today to introduce a former client of mine, Holly Odogwu, who is going to talk about the mission organization that she has created and founded and is promoting and is here to do what she can to help out with people who have certain disabilities and intellectual. She's here to help out with people who have certain disabilities and illnesses and is going to tell us a little bit about what she does and why she does it. If you would like to be a guest on this podcast, feel free to email or call our office and just let us know, and they'll get you in touch with me. Without further ado, Holly, tell us a little bit about Autism Meets Faith. What is it all about?
Yes, thank you, Paul, so much for having me on here. As you said, I'm Holly Odogwu, and I am the co-founder and CEO of Autism Meets Faith. We are a nonprofit organization that our role is to come in, support families raising children with autism, and we help them find community, resources, and belonging so that they don't have to navigate the journey alone. We believe that no family should face autism by themselves, and we bring our resources to them. We do it through different community events, social outreach, family connection days, and bringing them the resources that they otherwise couldn't find on their own.
And tell us a little bit about where you're located and where do you guys operate primarily?
Yes, so we actually just moved our home base to Dayton, but we operate on a mobile unit inside of the greater Houston area. We cover places in Harris County, Montgomery County. Also, we're in Liberty and Chambers County. And when I say mobile, I mean that we have connected with organizations within the community, such as ABA clinics and churches, and they let us use their space to bring our programs to the community. And we did that because we had a lot of families that would reach out and say, hey, I really want to be part of your Explorers Club, or I want to come to your mom's timeout, but you're too far. So we realized that we could do more service to people if we stopped paying rent for our own office and then just went out to different locations within the community. So that's what I mean when I say that we're on a mobile unit now.
Awesome. Okay. So rather than having one fixture and being stuck in one place, you utilize other people's spaces in order to provide services for people who are families dealing with autism and just need either extra help or relief, correct?
Absolutely.
Tell us a little bit about the Explorers Club that you mentioned as one of the things that you guys offer.
Yeah, so our Explorers Club, we are in our third session with it, and it is geared towards kids on the spectrum, ages 5 through 12. And the idea behind the Explorers Club is that we provide a space outside of school time for kids on the spectrum to come and have enrichment and social connections. So our mobile units, like I said, we're operating in Cypress, North Houston, East Houston, and Dayton. And in those locations, the kids will come in, the parents come with them, and we'll have a lesson plan for that day. So it'll be something like they'll do a group activity so that they can learn to interact with each other and kind of follow movements. And then they'll go through sensory stations. So it might be like last night, the West Houston location met, and they had dinosaur theme. So we had sensory bins with dinosaurs. We had sand with dinosaur footprints so that they would make the footprints and match it to the dinosaur. We had light boxes with dinosaur x-rays. So it's all just kind of different engagement to enhance the out of school time learning and help them build social connection. But what's really unique and different about our program is we want the entire family to be involved, because we believe that if you can create that understanding at home with the siblings and bring the family together, then that understanding extends to the community. So when I say it's for kids 5 to 12, we definitely have siblings that are 3 or 4, a little bit older, that come with them. The parents stay with them so that the whole family is getting to engage and interact. And we find that the parents form friendships with each other, or they share resources with each other. So it's so much more than just focused on the child. It's focused on the family and coming together in a learning environment.
Wow, I see. So the Explorers Club kind of provides the families a chance to get involved, kind of be active in not just the events and the things that y'all do and the learning experience for the child, but they also enable them to make connections with other people struggling with same or similar issues and potentially work together to solve those issues, correct?
Yes.
That is
And
awesome.
one thing that I'm really excited is this session, because we did expand to 5 locations. So the people leading it are actually parents who were in the program and wanted to be more involved. So we contracted those parents to actually become the leaders of each location. So we took them through the training, provided them with the resources to operate so that one, we could be at so many locations, but then also it lets the parents kind of take charge of and advocate for their child. Like they're involved in the process. And then of course we like it because they are getting paid for being co-leaders. So it's another way that we're supporting the families, is that the ones that are coming on and leading are getting a little bit of pay for their time as well.
That's awesome. Now, where does the curriculum come from that you guys use in these programs?
That is actually something that I do months before we launch a session. I will go through different internet sources and find what I think is going to be engaging for the kids. And you can really see the progression of the Explorers Club, because when we first started, we did a lot of arts and crafts, right? Where they sit down and make a birdhouse. Well, we realized kids on the spectrum, they don't want to sit down. So we stopped doing the arts and crafts and we started doing the sensory stations. So they get to stand, they get to move around to the stations, and then we have group movement activity. So it's really, the kids have taught me, and I've paid attention to what they want. We've asked parents like, hey, what is your child like? And we've used all that feedback to develop the curriculum. And, you know, it's just like a teacher would at school that's looking for more engaging ways to teach something. We look to the internet, we look to other teachers, we look to other organizations and get advice like, hey, what learning curriculum is working? And then we go and buy the materials to make it happen.
Awesome. And so how often do you have the Explorer Club meetings?
So in the summer, we meet once a week in person. They also have a Google Classroom where we do the hybrid model. So each week that they come in person, they get an at-home mission card. And that mission card, for example, last night they were doing dinosaur theme. So their mission card for this week is to go home and find 3 things that look prehistoric. So it might be like a rock or a weird looking piece of wood in the park. They take a picture of it, post it in the Google Classroom, and then the next week they come, they get a prize for completing their at-home mission. But within that classroom, they also have lessons. So we get dinosaurs off of YouTube Kids, like Science Kids and things like that. So they get to watch the at-home lesson. And then there's also like a yoga or physical activity in the Google Classroom. So they're doing that every week during the summer for 2 months. And then throughout the summer on Saturdays and different weekdays, we take them on field trips within the community. Now, during the school year, it operates only on school breaks. So it's to enhance any time that they're not in school.
So tell us some details. If somebody wants to get involved in something like this, where do these meetings take place? You said there's 5 different locations. And is there any kind of cost associated with it other than the gas it takes to get there?
Right. So they can actually go on our website, autismmeetsfaith.org, and then it's under our programs. And they're going to see all of our programs, but we have a tab for the Explorers. And it will take them to the registration form. And it shows all the locations where they're at. So they get to choose their location. We ask them the basic information about their child. We also ask them any triggers that their child might have, anything that's, is a sensory issue for them. We get a full background on the child. And then from there, they just sign up. And the beautiful thing is that we are grant funded. So all of our programming is free for the parents. Like you said, they just pay for the gas to get to wherever we are. And that is something that we listened to our parents. When we first launched the Explorers Club, we knew we wanted to do it, but we had not gotten to the point where we were getting the grants specifically for that program. So we tried to do a sliding scale for enrollment. A sliding scale meaning what they could pay to join. Well, nobody joined, and they said, we just don't have the extra money for it. So we really listened to that. So we were very blessed, and the 2 sessions that we've run in the summer, plus the one in the school year, we were blessed to get funding from the Department of Education through their Case for Kids. Each commissioner and city council district votes on what nonprofit they want to support for their out-of-school time learning, and we've been blessed with that. The funding does end this summer, so as we go forward, it's definitely another funding source we're going to be looking for, but we only promise to do it for our parents if it's free for them, because we know they're already paying for therapy cost. A lot of people don't realize that just to raise a special needs child, the cost over the child's lifetime is easily over $100,000 more than it costs to raise a neurotypical child. And that's a combination of having to pay for therapy, special support equipment, time getting called away from work because their child's school has called them and said, hey, you need to come pick them up. They're having a bad day. So we've listened to our parents and said, we're only going to do the programming as we get funding. So it's a constant reaching out. Hey, who wants to support this program? What can we do to keep it going for the families?
Okay. You also mentioned the Mom's Timeout program. I'm betting that's fairly self-explanatory, kind of like some of these organizations do, where you just kind of provide a more or less watch service for parents to take a little time off and let their kids come and play with other kids, that sort of thing.
Not exactly. So the Mom's Timeout is actually our program just for moms to come and get a break. So it's our moms events. We might do a lunch. We might do something in the community like coffee and cake just for the moms to come. But you brought up a very important thing, which is actually shaping our next stage of Mom's Timeout, is that some of them are like, hey, I don't have childcare, so I really can't come. Or they'll sign up, but then something happens that day and they can't come because their child is sick. They can't get a babysitter. So once again, we've listened to our parents. So we have actually, I'm very excited to say, gotten a grant to help offer respite care. Now it's a yearly thing. So I'm sure a lot of nonprofits, they understand funding comes on a yearly basis. So you're constantly looking for more, right? But what we're doing is bringing in that respite care. And that just means we're going to have caregivers at the Mom's Timeout so that in a separate space, they can still bring their children, but their children are being watched and taken care of for that time that the moms are getting connect with each other. And we find that that's very important. And it also helps because a lot of moms are fearful of leaving their children with somebody else, especially if they have a nonverbal child who can't tell them if something happened. So by having that respite care available at the event, the moms feel a little more secure because even though the child's not directly with them, they're still in the same building and they have that sense of security that they can still just go check on them if they need to.
Nice, nice. Okay. Well, we talked a little bit about Explore Club. We talked about Mom's Time Out. What other regular held events, if any, do you guys have in relation to the organization?
Yes. So we have our Family Connect Days once a month. It's the last Saturday of every month. And that one is, once again, it's mobile around the city. We have the dates on our website, or if they go onto our Facebook page, they'll see Family Fun Day. And we have partnered with 3 different ABA clinics around Houston. And so throughout the year, every Saturday, we'll be at a different ABA clinic where the families can come and learn about the clinic. But most importantly is there's fun and games for the kids. It's really a day for them just to connect and have a place where families know they're not going to be judged for their child is safe, and there's other parents and kids just like them.
Awesome. Backing up here a little bit, tell me a little bit about how your organization came about, when you formed it and why.
Yes. So we formed in 2021 during COVID. That's what we can say we did with COVID is we formed Autism Meets Faith. And that actually came about from our daughter. Our daughter's name is Faith. She was diagnosed when she was 4 with autism, and she immediately started occupational therapy, and she was on the wait line for speech therapy. And I remember at that time, I was a stay-at-home mom. It was such a blessing because I was able to spend that time researching the internet to find resources for her. And I, found another nonprofit that provided iPads for families for communication for their child. I found all these different groups and I was informed on all the different waivers and everything that you might need to get your child on to set them up for when they're an adult. But I remember I would sit there with her during her occupational therapy sessions and just tell her therapist what I had found. Well, her therapist said, "Can I write some of this down? Because I have families with kids on the spectrum or clients, and I don't know what to tell them." At first that shocked me, but then I realized, well, that makes sense. She's not an autism specialist. She's an occupational therapist who just happens to have a few clients with autism. So I remember sharing that story with my husband, and he said, people need this information. Parents need these resources. And we realized that with Faith, she was considered mild on the spectrum. So she just needed a little support. But there are some families whose children are severely autistic. They are nonverbal, maybe they're not potty trained, and it's a full-time job raising them. So they don't have the time that I had to find those resources. So we said that we're going to start helping people. We're going to give these resources to them. So that's how it came about. And at the time, God was really speaking to us. He said, "There's nothing wrong with your daughter. She just thinks differently, but you're going to use that to help other people." And that's how it came about. We started out as just being resources online. We started out where parents would call me and say, hey, I'm looking for a clinic that takes Medicaid, but I can't find one. So we would make the phone calls for them and then call them back, say, hey, this clinic, you can go in with them. And then just over time, it developed to being in-person services and therapy scholarships and so much more.
Wow, yeah. So it just kind of grew out of necessity, it sounds like, and you start helping others. And next thing you know, it expanded into an organization.
Yep.
That's the way a lot of missions seem to start. It's like one person starts solving a problem, the next thing you realize, it's not just your problem,
Absolutely.
and so you kind of reach out. Well, that's awesome. Well, I know you guys have some fundraisers and annual event opportunities. I know we are going to be helping to kick one off for you guys coming up here pretty soon. So why don't you tell us about the Bridge and what that is all about?
Yes. So Bridge 2026, it actually came out of the idea that we had been doing dinner fundraisers and at restaurants, and we realized, rather than just another fundraiser where we just feed people, why don't we do something that's actually directly giving the resources to the families we're serving? And that's how the Bridge 2026 came about. So this year's theme is from diagnosis to daily success. And we're covering the area part of Baytown, East Houston, East Harris County, where there's not a lot of support and resources for the families raising special needs kids. So we're bringing all the resources to them for one day summit. We're going to have educators from the schools talking about IEPs, what to do in the ARD meeting. We're going to have officers from Project Lifesaver, which is a tracking device for kids who are known to elope or run off. We're going to have professional speakers there for the parents all in one place so that they can get those resources. And it's going to be, like you said, we're starting out this year. We have positions for our founding sponsors, which all have come on, and just so much more to help bring those resources to the families and then continue it on a yearly basis as it grows, because there's just so many areas that people need support on. So that's really for them to come together and get it all in one place.
Well, that is awesome. So if people want to come join that event and learn and actually get to experience hearing from these speakers and all these opportunities, how do they get involved with that?
Absolutely. I encourage them to go onto our website. Like I said, autismmeetsfaith.org. We'll have the Bridge on there. We've actually just updated a lot of the website page for the Bridge, and we have our priority access open right now. We haven't started selling tickets, but they can get on the priority access list so that when we do start selling tickets, they can be the first ones to know about it. And the benefit of joining the priority access list is that when we have sponsors come on, and also when we get funds to help cover the cost of tickets for families, they'll be the first ones that get access to that. Because of course, our goal has always been how to provide it free for families. So we've put the list together so that as funds come in or as sponsors are like, hey, I want to support this family, they're the first ones that are getting on there to get a free ticket to attend that day.
Awesome. Well, good.
So,
I was looking at the website too while we were talking, and I saw here, I ran across the Explore page you were talking about. It lists all the different locations. I see a North Houston site, a West Houston site, a Cypress site, an Humble site, and a Dayton site. So you really are kind of all around the Houston area, providing the Explorer Club opportunity for people all over the Houston area, from what I can see here. That's awesome.
yes. And an exciting thing is the Cypress location and the location that are at the Restore ABA clinic, those two locations are actually run by RBTs. So they're registered behavior technicians. So they have the training and the skill already built in them and leading those two. And then the other two locations are run by parents who are raising autistic children.
Wow, awesome. Well, so you've indicated that some of these events are actually run by parents of children who attend the events. Other ones are run by different organizations who have volunteers that come in from professional level all the way down to personal level. Tell us a little bit more about volunteer opportunities that people would have if people want to, just want to get involved and be a part of it. Maybe we have kids that need school hours and want to donate their time, and this is an organization that they could benefit from. Maybe they have a sibling, or maybe they themselves, or experience the situation that you benefit and would just like to come volunteer and be blessed by it. How would they do about it? What opportunities are there, and how would they go about joining?
Absolutely. So that we have a volunteer sign up on our website, and really every event that we have openings for volunteers, especially at our Family Connect days. They could be there to help the kids, welcome the families, answer questions for the families, especially at our Bridge 2026 coming up. We have tons of volunteer opportunities to be there that day. And then throughout the year, we have opportunities like we have our annual Christmas party, which, as you mentioned, having students there, we've had 2 high schools in the past 2 years at our Christmas party whose students needed volunteer hours, and they came and supported the Christmas party through the different and the Christmas party is for the kids as they're getting presents from Toys for Tots, who we partner with every year. So we do the party, and the volunteers are there helping the kids through different games and activities while their parents get to pick out their presents. Then we do a turkey trot every year that we have volunteers for. So there's really endless opportunities for them to be involved. And if there's some that are maybe a little nervous about being with the kids, or they kind of want to do something behind the scenes, we do have admin opportunities for volunteers to come in and connect with families virtually, and they can just find out all that information on our website.
Awesome. Well, good deal. All right. So you have a lot of different opportunities, obviously, for people to volunteer throughout the year and weekly events, regular events, that sort of thing. Oh, I know what I was going to say. Ask is, I assume, we have some people out there who want to be involved, but may not have the time to donate and would prefer donate resources. Do you have a place they can go on the website if they wish to be a donor, whether it's regular, one time, or recurring?
We do actually, like I said, on a website, we have the donate or give, and it'll go to our Zephy page. And that's the beautiful thing about our donations and the platform that we use is they do not charge any fees for the nonprofit. So donors can know that 100% of what they're giving is actually going to the mission. And they can do the one time, they can set up for monthly giving. We also have opportunities if they wanted to give in-kind donations. For example, if they have a business and they want to donate something for one of our raffles at one of our events, like at the summit, if they have a gift basket and they want to donate it to a mom that night, or if they're a restaurant and they want to donate food for one of our events. We've had vendors that do snow cones, and they come out to our Family Connect Day and donate snow cones for the day. So whether it's an in-kind donation or it's a direct financial donation, we welcome it all, and they can just know that it's going to the families that they want it to go to.
Just as an aside, I'll accept snow cone donations myself too. That sounds like fun. That's kind of neat. I guess with events like this and stuff, it's a great opportunity if somebody owns a business, whether it's cookie bakery or a snow cone vendor or whatever, and would like to just be involved and hand out and help be part of the welcoming. That would be a great opportunity to just kind of promote what you do too, and be a part of that. Well, tell me a little bit about goals for the organization. What are your future goals and hopes and dreams, I guess we should say, for where this Autism with Faith will go in the future?
Yeah, it's so great. Grand. And the immediate one, of course, is what we've talked about, is Bridge 2026 and getting full funding for that and the sponsors for that event. And of course, the more sponsors that come in, it just means the less that families are responsible for is tickets. And we do have a goal of, if we get the sponsors that come in at the $35,000 level, we don't have to charge families to be there. But then beyond that, we have some pretty amazing things down the pipeline that are just going to change the way families receive resources. I don't want to give away too much, but it definitely has to do with an RV and disaster recovery.
Oh, wow.
So that's definitely something that I encourage families to follow us on Facebook as we start making announcements about what's coming down the pipeline.
And you brought up social media. So you guys are on Facebook. I assume you're on most of the other major social media sites. People can follow you there and learn from you is what's going on and what kind of events are coming up.
Yes, we're on Facebook. We're on Instagram. We are on LinkedIn for the professionals that prefer that page as well. We're working on TikTok. It's still a new thing for us, but we'll get there. But follow us on Facebook and Instagram for sure.
And what is the website address one more time?
It's autismmeetsfaith.org.
And I assume if they search for Autism Meets Faith on Facebook and the other sites, it shouldn't be too hard to get that to pop up under that name as well, correct?
Absolutely.
And it looks like to me there's actually links from your website to all your different social media. So if people want to take it the easy way, they can just visit the website and then visit social media from there and stay in touch.
Yes. And actually, For people who are wanting to get a little more information, we also have our Guide Star seal on there. We're on transparency, the platinum level, so they can, even if they want to go and see our financials, if our donors want to see what we're doing behind the scenes, we have that link on our website as well.
Good deal. Well, I thank you so much for taking time to share with us about Autism Meets Faith. I'm actually looking forward to the event. One more time, what is the date of the Bridge 2026 that's coming up?
Yes, it's going to be November 7th at the Hyatt Regency in Baytown.
Awesome. Good deal. And if people want to get involved, again, they get on the website, they go to the ticket page, they can actually get on the advance notice to receive tickets as soon as they are made available. If people want to help donate so that they lower the ticket costs, they can also visit the website, visit the sponsor page, and get involved that way. Well, I think we've covered an awful lot talking about the organization and what you guys do and all your plans. It sounds like it's some wonderful things you got going on. Is there anything that I didn't think to ask you about or that I didn't cover that you would like to mention about Autism Meets Faith?
You know, you really covered a lot. I just want families to know that we're here for them. They're not alone. Parents raising autistic kids and special needs kids in general can often feel lonely and isolated because they feel like they don't belong in certain settings, but they do belong. And we're here to help them and make those experiences happen for them. So just have hope and reach out to us.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for your time, Holly. I appreciate you being on Meet Houston Missions.
Thank you so much for the time in the spotlight. Appreciate it.
All right. Take care.